Hey, welcome to the Minty Chat. We're on another episode of our windmill project over here on the mountain. So I went and picked up some more things for the job site. We got this new roughneck modding crew trailer. This thing is sick. Let me just get a little closer for the eye to see. Alright, I gotta grab this road closed sign. We're gonna put that, yeah, we'll put that right about here. Then I'm gonna grab some of these cones. So in the trailer, we got a crane hook device, we got our crane chain device, we got our surveyor. I'll open up later on, I'm getting sidetracked. I am in here for some cones. Come in here, grab this last one real quick. There, now we got our road signs in place. That's kind of like for people who come down here lost or turning around, or even people who are like curious to see what's going on. That way they don't get stuck up in the construction up here, because I'm gonna leave that down for now. Shut the truck off. Because we gotta come over here. And we're going to be putting this culvert pipe in. So we got to dig up the road. We don't want anybody traveling up here, possibly getting stuck, crashing their car, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this up and around the crane. We're going to use the crane to lift this up. Off camera, I drove the 349 on top of the hill right there. It went up there like a champ, no issues at all. But now I realize I gotta drive that back down because we're gonna be using that today to dig out the culvert. I do have another excavator coming and bulldozer. So that being said, I did a couple changes. So this had the tracks on it. Tracks don't do that good in the mud, they'll do better in the snow. So we had these swapped back out. We got these tires on it, they do a lot better in the mud. But when time comes for snow, we'll probably swap the tracks back. And I also got rid of, I think it was a D5 or something like that, the small dozer. We swapped that out. I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for like a four-wheeler or some kind of little side-by-side or something to go up and down the trail. I just had to walk all the way up here to get this, and I'm out of breath, and I don't want to do that again. And then that's only like a part of it. We gotta go, all the way. I think all said and done, it's like a quarter of a mile long road on top of a mountain. And that's a lot of wear and tear just driving my truck up here and the service trucks. We're supposed to get some rain tonight, so I'd like to come back after hours and then dark and see how the culvert works, see if we can get a little pond made over there. So I mean, just look at the mud right here. Luckily the hills dried out pretty good, but all the water coming down off the mountain from the waterfall right here in this little pond, it's starting to leak a little bit. I don't want the road to get washed out. So the goal is to have the culvert right here. I'm gonna dig this out over here a little bit and try to have the water go over there. I'm gonna hop in here real quick, check this thing out. It is a tracked dump truck and it rotates 360 degrees. That was only 180, but I'm not gonna do the whole revolution. There we go, there's our first scoop. Looks like the dump truck doesn't hold that much, so we're gonna have to dump it a few times. Let's see, this is our third bucket. Is that gonna fill it? I think it did. It's about as low as I want to go, so I'm gonna put the leveler on, go straight across, so that means I'll probably have about 3 or 4 loads in here. I'm gonna go put this in a different spot and save it. Alright, I'm gonna dump it all over here. I want to level this off some more over here. Alright, load number 2. It's only taken 3 bucketfuls to fill this dump truck. It's pretty crazy. There we go, there's our third. Won't quite take it all. Never do that, that's dangerous in real life. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Gotta keep going on with that. Now that I'm thinking about it though, I'm actually gonna take this material and I'm just gonna keep it right there. There's no sense in hauling it away. So I'm just gonna dump it kind of in the road. And then maybe after I can take the bulldozer, because I am having material brought in. I am having the road lifted no matter what, because it needs to be lifted up a little bit. Oop, my bad. At least it's a lot drier though, because it was just straight mud. It was horrible the other day. Back up some more. Alright, so we're getting a little closer to having the hole dug up for the culvert. I'm gonna get rid of these stones right here, trying to keep these separate. And then we're gonna have to come over here, and I'm not digging like a pond, anything big. I'm just digging a little small spot. It's gonna be an oversized puddle is what it's gonna be. Try not to cut any trees down on the bottom of the mountain, but these 2 trees right here, they're in the way. I'm gonna try not to, but we'll see what happens. Getting you guys caught up to date. We're almost there. Not doing too bad. There's a lot of material here, so I'm just kind of taking my time. Another 10 minutes or so, we'll go get that drain pipe, see if we can drop that in place, see how that works. Get to work on this pond a little bit. But yeah, I can use some of this material to put it right back on that road right there. That's gonna be pretty nice. Still gonna bring some material in. There we go. How are we looking on that? Get rid of this little spot right there. I'm gonna take this out, but I'm not gonna do that until the pipe's already in, just in case we do a water breakthrough. I don't need this running. Okay, there we go. Get a couple more scoops out of here real quick. Alright, I think I'm all done. This should be deep enough and long enough for that pipe to go in. So let's get everything out of the way and let's drop it in and see how it looks. Alright, perfect. I'll get that out of the way and I'll back the crane truck up, hook up to the culvert pipe, drop that in, get that little bit dug out right there, get that little bit dug out right there. Let's see if we can get some water flowing with some rain. Forgot I had to come back in here and grab that. Crap, I should have backed up. We'll be alright. And I also didn't move the dump truck. Alright, shouldn't hit anything with our outriggers. Perfect. Is this gonna roll away? Yeah, it is. Alright, I gotta leave that strapped up. So I said I wasn't gonna cut any trees down, but I didn't say anything about branches. Okay, so if I put this up against there, that should stop that from rolling. The pipe's too heavy. Oh, did it work? Alright, cool, it worked. You know, I'm starting to wonder if that's actually going to reach. It might not reach. We might actually have to replace the truck. That's all we got. Alright, I pulled the other truck out of the way. I backed this one up. Should be able to drop it right in now. Perfect. Alright, here we go. Let's lift this thing into place. Alright, how are we looking? Gotta tweak it a little bit more. That won't be that bad. And then I guess we gotta get another one. I wasn't expecting that. I'll go put an order in for that. Start digging out this pond here. That's gonna be nice and helpful. Alright, backing in with our second pipe. Right there should be good. Alright, I threw that piece of, there it is. So I'll throw that piece of wood around here somewhere. here and wedge our pipe again. There we go. Now if we unstrap it. Okay. Ain't rolling nowhere. Should be good. Let's hop in the crane. Alright, I pulled the truck out of the way just for safety precautions. The boom is all the way extended out. We're not as far over as we can be, so I'm gonna have to adjust and move it over a little bit more. Okay, got these two to connect. And here we go. Surprisingly though, I thought these pipes were a lot longer. I think we're gonna need a third one, but for now, honestly, I'm gonna start backfilling this and start getting this all dug out. Get that pond in there. That's looking pretty good from up here though. Alright, I'm gonna start to digging out the little pond area for the pipe water to go into. I'm not gonna go too extreme on building a little pond right here. Like I said, it's just to get the runoff water. This is gonna take a while. So looking at the forecast, it's gonna snow the next few days. Really gotta start getting some work done on top of the mountain. So here it is, and it's 2 o'clock. We got one more hour. Call it quits for today. Bright and early, we're going to be working on that road up there. Like I said, it's going to be raining overnight a little bit. It's not going to rain tomorrow, but I do want to see how that culvert works. Almost done here. I don't want to dig too much out. Going pretty good though. Hill 349's got a pretty big bucket in it. Well, now that that's all dug out, we got all that material right there. Gonna save that. We got the pipe right there. So I'm hoping eventually we create some kind of little pond right here just to help the overflow. Gotta get this crane truck out of here. Alright, let's go ahead and push this back in. Clear that pipe. I'm gonna have more material brought in because I'm liking the way this is leveling out, which I was already gonna try to do after anyways. So I'm gonna dump the dirt we have in the dump truck right there. I don't know, I'm not gonna worry about grabbing that right there. But let's see what that looks like after we fill that in from the dump truck. This thing is so cool. You literally just drive right up and you can turn. There. Put all of that in here. I can bury the pipe. There we go. I need a whole lot more. Go ahead and dump another load in real quick. Alright, that's working pretty sweet. It's gonna take a little more material, so I will let you guys know when I'm done, and I will bring you back in. There we go, just getting up this last little bit, kind of smoothing it out. There, give that a break for a minute. Well, it's a little after 11:30. Told you I had to come out here and check it out. Look at the rain coming down. It looks like it's gonna end soon. It was just a little shower. So let's go check out over here. This is the runoff I was worried about. We got a lot of water right there. It kind of runs off to a stream over there. A lot of water coming off a mountain. So this is where our culvert is. Looks like nothing's washing out. Check that out. We already got water over here. Look at that. That's working perfect. Heck yeah. Job well done right there. It don't look like there's that much water actually coming in here, but like I thought, that's exactly what this is intended for. Now we shouldn't have any issues with water washing on our road. So until tomorrow morning, I gotta get back home and go to sleep. Fresh and early in the morning, we'll be working on tree cutting for the road, continuing our road on over there, and starting our road to go up to that side. But with that being said, I'm gonna head home. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and wait for the next one. Peace, guys.